A very warm good evening to all present. And all of us have some bad days, but some of us may find all the bad days. It may be a sudden step fall or a slow, gradual depression where the days just seem to get gloomier and gloomier until all goes dark. The concept of mental health issues has come under the public eye only recently. The only mental health issues the older times knew are the ones that needed to kept locked up. As a result, many of those who came up with the symptoms were also locked. The only difference is they were all locked out and not in. Removing this lock has become the need of the hour, and to address the IMA MSN Kerala presents You Are Not Alone. And so for this session, we have Dr. Arun B. Nair, psychiatrist and author, who is a professor who is working at Government Medical College Trivandrum. Welcome you, sir, to this session, and we can start the session, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
As it was very rightly pointed out, the COVID-19 pandemic has adversely affected the mental state of all people all over the world. And probably the medical professionals are the worst hit out of these. The mental state of medical students has also been significantly affected because of the pandemic and its associated consequences. In this context, we shall discuss about certain aspects about what is mental health, what are the aspects which we have to keep in our mind to improve our mental health, how to support each other during the period of pandemic, and how to manage crisis situations in life. So we have received quite a lot of questions also from students from all over, and we shall go in a question answer format by discussing each one of these questions and trying to answer them rather than delivering a didactic lecture about stress and mental health. So let me start by addressing the first question which has been sent to me. The first question goes like this: I feel like my head is burning half the time. Extreme mood swings, sometimes even thoughts of suicide that I'm too scared to die. I leave for my family. I can't handle anything upsetting. I know I should be stronger, but sometimes it's too hard. I feel like I'm restricted by everything. I feel that I'm emotionally blackmailed. I feel I'm alone, that no one cares for me. I had suicidal tendencies in 9th and 10th standard, but I pulled myself out of it. I don't know how to make myself strong. I try to be strong, but sometimes overthinking gets the best of me. I feel I am living to meet the expectations of everyone. I feel burdened by it, but now it's too late to back out. My family works so much for me. The least I can do is to meet their expectations, but it's hurting me mentally. I feel depressed most of the time, but I rarely show it to anyone. I just don't know how to get out of it. The World Health Organization has stated that depression is the common cold among mental health problems. Just means that depression is very widely prevalent in our society, just like common cold. Studies have shown that 20% of all females and 10% of all males suffer from a depressive episode during some time in their lifetime. And another statement by WHO goes like this: depression is the most widely prevalent, easily preventable cause of suicide worldwide. It means two simple things. Depression is very common, and if depression is not identified and treated, it can lead to suicides. So how can we identify whether we are depressed or a friend or a family member of ours is depressed? There are 9 very concrete signs of depression. Number 1, pervasive continuous sadness from morning till evening, not related to a particular event or a particular situation. Number 2, reduced interest in previously pleasurable activities. You don't feel like watching television or chatting with your friends or going out with them or studying, going to college, reading, listening to music, anything. Don't feel like doing anything at all. Third is unexplained tiredness. You feel very fatigued throughout the day. You want to lie down for most of the time. Number 4 is sleep disturbance. There is a characteristic pattern of sleep disturbance in depression, and that is what is known as early morning awakening. You wake up at least 2 hours before the usual time of waking up. If a person has a habit of waking up by 6 a.m. in the morning every day, if he wakes up at 4 a.m. or before 4 a.m. and is able to complete the sleep, that is a pointer that the person is going in for depression. Fifth is reduced appetite. The person does not feel like eating even the most delicious food items he used to devour in the past. Concentration impairment is the sixth one. You are unable to focus on what you're trying to read. When you're having a conversation with your friend, you're unable to focus on that. So many thoughts are racing in your mind like waves, and you are unable to single out one and focus on that. Seventh is slowness of thoughts and slowness of actions. If somebody is asking you a question, you are taking a long time to reply. If somebody is requesting you to do something for them, you're taking a long time to do that. That slowness is there. And sometimes you may even feel agitated, a feeling of subjective restlessness and aimlessness, or pacing up and down, but unable to do anything very concretely. The eighth symptom of depression is depressive thoughts. You feel hopeless. You feel that there is no point in surviving like this. You feel helpless. You think that there is no one to help you. No one is understanding you. Everyone has isolated you, things like that. You feel an inappropriate sense of guilt. As adolescents, you may engage and indulge in a whole lot of activities like, having a relationship, or maybe watching some sexually explicit videos or something like that, of chatting in those lines, which are perfectly understandable, normal, and natural for an adolescent. But once you're depressed, you feel that those acts are grave crimes. You feel that God has punished you for committing those crimes. And these thought processes haunt you. You express them very frequently also. And finally, when you are in a state of severe depression, you feel worthless. You feel that you're a burden to your family, you're a burden to your friends, you're a burden to the entire society. A thing like that, what is the next automatic option? That is the ninth symptom. You feel like killing yourself, death wishes, and suicidal ideas. Out of these 9 symptoms, if anyone has got 5 of them, which is lasting for at least 2 weeks, you're likely to suffer from major depressive disorder. And major depressive disorder is a medical disorder like any other physical illness. Here, what happens is there are certain neurotransmitters in the brain which control your emotions. Serotonin, norepinephrine, these are 2 important neurotransmitters which are present in your brain. When the level of serotonin goes down, you feel sad, you feel hopeless, you feel suicidal. When the level of norepinephrine goes down, you feel lack of energy, you are incapable of enjoying anything, you feel fatigued, you feel aches and pains all over the body. So that is depression for you. So if you find this kind of a picture in yourself or in others, definitely seek help. I'm sure as medical students, there will be a mental health department, a psychiatry department in your own college. Go to the department, meet a faculty member, and open up to them. Probably, if it is a mild depression, just by psychotherapy, just by talking, just by restructuring your thought process, you can be helped. But if it is severe depression, you may need medicines which have to adjust the level of serotonin and norepinephrine in the brain. And remember, these medicines are perfectly safe. The side effect profile of most of the modern antidepressants are much less compared to the side effect profile of many other drugs like anti-diabetic or anti-hypertensive drugs. And many people have this doubt whether once we start medicines, we'll get addicted to it. No, these antidepressants don't bring an addiction. Another question is, once we start these medicines, will we be able to stop it? Definitely you can. You develop depression for the first time, 6 to 9 months you have to be on medicines. It's just like you develop a fracture of your leg and you are asked to put a plaster for 6 months. You're asked to put a plaster for 6 months because it needs 6 months to heal the fracture completely. So like that, by taking these antidepressants for around 9 months, most of the people recover completely from depression and you can stop medicines. And along with these medicines, you need certain lifestyle modifications. You should maintain a healthy sleep-wake cycle. You should go to sleep early, wake up early. Don't indulge in too much of digital use. Maybe on working days, restrict the use of mobiles and other digital media to less than 1 hour per day. Do some physical exercise. Expose yourself to sunlight for at least 1 hour per day. That will bring a lot of vitamin D in your body. You feel energized. And most importantly, remain socially connected. every person of your age should have at least 5 different groups of friends around you. Some friends in your college, some friends among your schoolmates with whom you may be directly in contact through social media, some friends in your neighborhood, some friends in places where you go to play or socialize, like that. The advantage of having these social connectors there, they will act as a buffer when you are down. If due to any reason you fight with your friends in college, they criticize you, make fun of you, and ostracize you for something you haven't done actually, you feel sad. If you don't have any other friends, you'll go home and brood over the issue. Think whether is it my fault? Is it their fault? If you think that it's your fault, you feel like killing yourself. If you think that it's their fault, you fume out of rage. You want to harm them someday. But if you have got some good friends in your neighborhood, you go out, have a stroll, meet one of them, talk to them, and within 5 minutes, you are so relieved. That is the advantage of being socially connected. So I hope I have answered that question reasonably well. So coming to the next question, I'm from North India. I got into this college, probably at a different state. In the past, I couldn't communicate with anyone, but I was improving. But after I got into this college, I became totally shy, not confident, who loves to seek attention but cannot communicate or handle becoming alone, can't even talk to the batchmates. And if a girl comes near, never. But in his heart, he longs for love. It may be from a boy or a girl. He just wants people to understand him and just spend time with that. Can you help me, please? Definitely, there is a scenario called social anxiety. Social anxiety is very common in adolescent age group because as an adolescent, you may have apprehensions about yourself, the way in which you look, about your build, about your way of speech, about the way you communicate. You are apprehensive that others may judge you, others may make fun of you, humiliate you for various aspects of the behavior. So just understand one thing, that nobody is superior to you, nobody is inferior to you. And again, there is something called Gestalt philosophy that goes like this. I am not in this world to rise up to your expectations. You are not in this world to rise up to my expectations. If by any chance we discover each other during the course of life, it's beautiful. Otherwise, it can't be helped. You have to go ahead. So that is something which you have to keep in mind. But of course, don't think that others are here to judge you. They are not competent or capable to judge you. They are human beings just like you. So there may be people in your batch who may not be very empathetic by attitude. But I'm sure that in a batch of 100 students or 200 students, or if not more, there will be at least a handful of people with whom you can vibe well. It may take some time to identify them, but be cordial and nice to every person in the batch. No harm in smiling to them. Whether it is a boy or a girl, no harm in smiling to them. Smile is the language of universal love. Absolutely no problem. And once in a while, you may get a chance to meet a person, talk to that person, can open up. The art of establishing a rapport with a person is an important skill which we should develop as medical professionals and as human beings. So when you meet a new person, always take the initiative to go to them and introduce yourself. And Mr. So-and-so from this place, what's your name? You can exchange basic information about yourself, ask his basic data regarding where his home is, about his parents, which school he studied. Then you can discuss about hobbies. And maybe if you can find a common ground, that would be a wonderful place to start a relationship. Probably you're interested in watching movies, that other person is also interested. You strike a rapport instantaneously. The next day when you meet that person, you've already got a topic to start talking about. That is the art of building rapport. Try that. Don't feel that anyone is here to judge you. And again, one more thing. If you are so intensely anxious to such an extent that you are incapable of even talking to another person, you tremble like anything, your heart is pounding, your mouth is dry, and you feel dizzy, that is a sign of severe social anxiety disorder. That is again just like depression, a medical disorder. There is another neurotransmitter in the brain called GABA, gamma aminobutyric acid. You may be learning it in biochemistry. The level of GABA goes down a little bit, you may have intense anxiety. In such situations, again, a little bit of treatment may help. some medicines which adjust the level of GABA, some relaxation exercises like deep breathing or progressive muscle relaxation, which any faculty member in the psychiatry department of your college will be able to tell you. And if needed, some cognitive restructure, what you call cognitive behavior therapy, and also mild psychological treatments that will help you to overcome this. So again, try the methods I have told you. If still you are having difficulty, go and meet a faculty of the psychiatry department. You can easily come out of this.